Good morning, everybody. How's it going? It's it's November 15th, guys. That means that Thanksgiving's like next week. I don't even know. Thank you, everyone who joined early. I got Arcade Eric, Blaker, Conti. Got the two Canadians in here. Lewis Chambers up in probably freezing his ass off in New York. King Kong, I think he's New Jersey, so he's probably pretty cold too. Yeah, so 2 seconds for in my family. Matt, how you doing? So literally 2 seconds before I was about to run the intro thing, I was like, how do I not drink coffee on Coffee Talk? That's so dumb. And then I spilt the coffee all over, and it came like within inches of my computer, which is on the floor. So thankfully it didn't get in the computer and destroy it, because I would have been like, awesome, that's great. Yeah, so we're here. We're back. I'm sorry it's Tuesday instead of Wednesday, but for some reason my schedule keeps, hey, Paul from the UK, what's up? I keep having to, it's really hard for me. I don't know how, all right. I know I shouldn't say this. I don't know how anyone else that's my age, like around their 40s and has kids and a job and can like set and keep to an actual schedule. I just can't. There's always some family thing that actually, I shouldn't say gets in the way. That sounds negative, but like there's always something that I have to shift it. I mean, I hope that I could do it every Wednesday, but it just never really works out that way. But I don't get it. I don't know how more power to them. I wish I could do it. I try to keep to a schedule, unless it was a weekend. But even then, there's like a bunch of stuff going on. I mean, kids have stuff going on. It is what it is. It's not about me anymore. It's about them. When you have kids, it's about them. It's not about you. But right now, for this hour, it's about us. It's about all of us. And it's about you sitting in your cubicle. You should be working. You should be working. Or if you're in your work truck, or if you're on the job somewhere, you should be working, but you're listening to this. Be careful. If you're operating heavy machinery, don't be running it into something or forklifting the side of a pallet of arcade one-ups or whatever you do for your job. I'm just kidding. Anyway, yes, that is exact, Conti. I have teenage kids. Your schedule is their schedule. That is the reality of it. Yeah, if you're watching in your car, just listen, don't watch. Plus, there's nothing to really watch. It's just me in my Mason Conrad hooded sweatshirt that you cannot buy. So if you're interested in this hooded sweatshirt, you can't buy it. So I don't know. I love Mason, but I don't know what the point of making merch that no one can buy is. I'm not sure. Yeah. I don't know. All right, so check it out. We're gonna get right into this. So I got this. So there's this guy on Twitter, right? Thank you everyone for joining, by the way. Really appreciate that. All right, so there's this dude on Twitter who I think has a YouTube channel too. I've followed him on Twitter for a while, and in my little video I'm gonna run for you, I actually say his name wrong, so I feel like a jerk for that. So I'm gonna correct it before I make my mistake, so then I don't feel like a jerk. Probably still a jerk, but I'm probably still a jerk, but at least I'm less of a jerk. So there's this dude, the Mid-Geek Crisis. I call his name the wrong way. I think he has a podcast, a YouTube. I think he's got a YouTube channel too. But there's this link, the midgeekcrisis.com, and I put it in the description of the video. So after the video, you can go back and watch it and follow him. But anyway, he's been talking a lot about this product. It's sort of an alternative. It's sort of an alternative to the Mr-Cade or a Pandora's box or something like that. So if you have a it's way better than a Pandora's box. But if you have a candy cab or something, right? If you're lucky enough to own a candy cab, or you're even really, you could technically use this solution if you were building like a multi-cade or something like that. But what the real sort of like goal of this project is to build an emulation device that works real well with CRTs. And so the project's called RGB Pi. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to check it out, because there's a lot of people that can't get, maybe you have Pis laying around and you can't actually get a Mister right now. So that's the thing. Like, you can't get a Mister I mean, you can get them, but they're tough to get. And then the Mr. Cade is even more difficult to get. So you need both those boards so you can put them together and then put them in a candy cab or whatever your arcade project is. So I want to show you this because it's actually pretty cool. Hey, that's not true. My buddy, Wicked Gamer and Collector still buys them. I still buy them. I just don't talk about them on the channel. But the Morning Ralph, why do you sound like Jigsaw from the Saw movies? I do? I have actually never seen, so, all right, Ryan. I don't watch horror movies. So I can do like scary, what's the other term you'd use for like suspense? I don't really do horror. Never really been into that. I think it was probably because as a kid, there's some messed up kids in the neighborhood. They used to like duct tape us to chairs and make us watch like Faces of Death and stuff. I think that did it. I think that wasn't a good, that wasn't a good like experience as a kid, to be duct taped, have your arms duct taped to a chair. So 80s. That's such an 80s thing to do. Like, I'm going to duct tape this kid to a chair and make him watch Faces of Death. Like, it's kind of messed up, dude. Like, is that not messed up? Who does that? Who does that to a kid? You know what I mean? Like, they were also kids, but they're teenagers. They should know better. They're going to duct tape a damn kid. Yeah, exactly, right? Hey, he's like 6. Let's duct tape him to the chair, make him watch Faces of Death. Nothing's going to happen. So I feel like maybe that's what did it. So I'm not really into that. But anyways, more power to anybody that is. Yeah, Faces of Death is pretty traumatic. And King Kong thinks that's funny. Ralphie. Yeah, so Faces of Death was pretty traumatic. Some of the, I went back and watched a documentary about Faces of Death, and some of it was real and some of it wasn't. But if you didn't know as a kid, it was pretty traumatizing. But yeah, this is so true. This comment, that was like neighborhood fun back in the day. Now we're like, kids, don't go outside. There's scary murderers and killers. Don't go. You can't go outside ever again. And you especially can't roam the neighborhood by yourself. Yeah. I'm sure there was just as many crazy people when we were young. It's just that, you hedge your bets, man. Maybe your kid comes home. Maybe he doesn't. I don't know. But you hope he does. I don't know, maybe some parents hoped they didn't come home. I don't know. There were probably some days where my parents were like, yeah, we have a daughter. She's older. If Ralph comes home, that's good. But if he didn't, we could cut our losses. No, I'm just kidding. I'm wearing your hoodie that you don't sell today. I'm like, hey, check out my Mason Conrad merch, but you can't buy it. I don't know. I don't understand that part of it. Why didn't you make it so others can order it? Like, I think there's people that would actually buy this hooded sweatshirt. It's very cool. But maybe next round. But thank you, Mason, for joining. I appreciate you, buddy. Today the crazies have more artillery. Maybe true. I'm not sure. Okay, let's run this clip because you already forgot what the hell I was talking about. I was talking about this cool alternative solution for candy cabs. All right, check it out. I'm gonna run the clip real quick.
Okay, if you're watching this right now, then it's another late night, but it's an early morning on Coffee Talk, and I want to show you guys something that I've been kind of working on. It was midlife retro crisis or something.
Okay, that's where I got it wrong. It's Mid-Geek crisis, and I'm sorry, Joe. I'm sorry. And then I think I even rolled my eyes, but I'm not rolling my eyes at you. So I just roll my eyes because you've been talking to me about this solution. And I was like, yeah, Mr. Cade, shut up. So I'm sorry about that.
But I've been following him on Twitter, and he's been talking to me about this RGB Pi thing, which basically takes our Raspberry Pi and hooks it up to JAMA for like a candy cab. So I did that to my candy cab, and I want you guys to see it real quick. So here's the arcade currently. I actually have a couple games on right now. Sinistar's being finicky. Sinistar. It's working right now, but it wasn't working the other day. So okay, so here's the candy cab, and it's running that RGB Pi, and here's what that looks like. So it's basically this.
Okay, hold on. There's a question I want to get to real quick. Okay, where do I ship? Who do I use to ship arcades? I use Beltman. Remind me later in the show, and I'll bring up the website, because it's not Beltman proper. It's like a coin-op division of Beltman. Because they go east-west, and Fastenal, who does it a lot cheaper, does not go east-west anymore. So they'll go, I think, from Chicago east, I think is where they go. But they're cheaper. But anyway, all right. I did not know about the RGB Pi. I know, Adam. You're probably like, what the hell, bruh? But yeah.
And then you put your Pi 3B on it. So that's a Pi 3B. And then it has a USB key, which has games on it. But it's connected Wi-Fi, so it's connected to my home network. So I can...
So by the way, it does support the 2B, 3A, 3A+, 3B, 3B+, and 4B. I'm using the 3B+, by the way.
Right to it. So here, I'll show you what the menu looks like real fast. So when we hit start, this is what the main menu looks like. I'll put the sound up just a little bit. So right now, this is all running off a Raspberry Pi.
Sorry about the refresh
And if
rate
I go back to the main menu, the cool thing about it actually is that
60,
there's a bunch of settings, like display settings for the frequency of the monitor. You can rotate the monitor. It's got a lot of settings for CRTs. So it's not just like some dumbed down, Raspberry Pi version. It's very specific to arcade monitors. So anyways, I dumped some arcade ROMs to it. So I have Altered Beast.
I'm doing the whole like epic. I'm trying to do the whole epic side-scrolling beat 'em up collection. I'm working on it. I don't know why I have Donkey Kong on there. I don't really care.
If we want, and it'll...
I mean, I don't not like Donkey Kong, but I'm like, I don't know. But anyways, whatever. Let's continue.
It'll launch Altered Beast up, and there you go. You can play yourself.
Rise from your grave.
Yeah, so there's a hotkey combination that gets you back to the main menu, but it's really hard for me to do it while... I'm going to try to do it while I'm on the... There we go. Okay, so you got Altered Beast, I got Cadillacs and Dinosaurs, Die Hard Arcade, Donkey Kong, Double Dragon, Golden Axe Death Adder. So this was actually one that...
Dude, Death Adder's the shiz.
Released. I was shocked that they actually did. But yeah, so you got Death Adder on here, all running from...
What's up, Remy?
All running from that Raspberry Pi. So it's pretty cool. It's probably an alternative. It's like a cheaper alternative solution to, let's say, oh, I got Metamorphic Force on here too. Here, I'm gonna put the volume up just a tiny bit more. I'm trying to still learn the menus here. How do I get to that? Shoot, I think I go back. Nope, I go back. There we go. Sound. It's got an equalizer too, so you can kind of mess with that, and it has like some what's called track music. It'll just play. But yeah, so here you'll see this is the Mister. The Mistercade is behind it. So this is kind of like a cheaper alternative to the Mistercade, and it's obviously still emulation, but I'm really impressed with how well they did the software. And the Mistercade right now is pretty.
By the way, I was expecting someone to make fun of the fact that the USB key I used is like 6 feet long. It's like a USB key from like 1982. It's like the biggest USB key I've ever seen in my life. Or thumb drive, whatever the hell they're called.
Expensive, although trying to get a Pi these days also isn't very easy. But anyways, I'm pretty excited.
I will say too, I didn't put the heat sink on the CPU, or there's this little audio amplifier circuit. I didn't put it on there either, but you're supposed to. So just FYI.
This solution, I'll probably do a video on it because I think a lot of people have...
I'm doing a video on it right now.
This one might want to, consider a solution like this. Now, I only have a 4-button configuration right here, so I'm going to upgrade this to a 6-button configuration so I can play other games. And you'll see there's actually a spot on the board where you solder some pins for...
So it comes with a little set of riser pins. You just solder it to that little... You could solder the wire directly to the pads, I guess, but it comes with this little thing, and you can connect it, and then you can connect your kick harness or just wire the buttons directly.
Buttons 4, 5, and 6 on player 1 and 2, so it's pretty cool. So I'm excited about this solution. I'm excited about this solution. We'll see, as I play with it, I'll give you guys more feedback, but it's very cool. All the games play pretty well, but
AZ Cowboy 1, it does actually run off of the a Pi 4 as well. Yep.
What I'm most impressed about is they did a really good job on the software. It's not running Emulation Station. And it's really easy to just mount this thing on your home network. I'm using a Mac, so I can mount it on my Mac. It'll mount the ROMs folder, and I can just dump the ROMs. You go back to the machine and you just say search game library or update game library, and it sucks them all in. And it does consoles too, so there's console cores on here and arcades, so you can pretty much do whatever you want. Anyway, here, I'll show you really quick. I don't have that many console games, but let's see, I think I have a couple. So I have some Genesis games. So I have like Road Blasters, of course, Road Rash. So if you want to launch Road Rash, hit that. And yeah, I'm gonna put obviously Streets of Rage on here. But yeah, you can play your freaking
dude, Road Rash.
Pretty damn cool stuff.
It's weird to play Road
Anyway,
Rash.
let's get back to the show,
okay?
Enough of this. Enough of this. Let's get back to the show.
Okay, all right, that's enough. So basically, here's the deal. You can get this board. Well, right now it's sold out. I don't know why it's sold out. It's been around for a while. I just never grabbed it. There's a link in the description. It's rgb-pi.com. And the JAMA version, what I showed, is about $50. So it's not bad. It's $50. You plug it into your Raspberry Pi. I think it's two 2B. No, not 2. 2B, 3A, 3A plus, 3B, 3B plus, and 4B. Actually, Arcade Hollywood's here. Dude, this is a solution you'd probably dig, dude. You need to check out the replay if you haven't. I think you'll really dig this. I think everyone will really dig this. I'm a little late to the game on it. I've been kind of avoiding it, to be honest, but it's pretty cool because I have a Mr. already, but I was really curious, and I'm actually pretty happy with it. I just like the fact that, you know, the 3B Plus has built-in Wi-Fi, so I just throw that thing on my network, and then from my in my house while the candy cab's in the garage, I just put whatever games I want on it. I go back to the candy cab. It does like a little thing that says search for games, and then they all pop up, and it's got emulators for like everything. It has not everything, but it has, I can't remember the whole list of emulators, but it plays a lot of different things. It's got like a pretty long list. I can't think of it right now though. Let me see if I can find the wiki while we're talking, and I can tell you exactly what games it supports. Because it's a pretty long list. Let's see. FAQ. It must be in the FAQ, right? I mean, why would it not be in? Yeah, okay. So I'm not going to go through the whole list, but it's arcade, so MAME and Final Burn Neo. All right, I'm not going to go through the whole list, but I'll just rattle them off. Atari 2600, Atari 7800, Atari Lynx, Wonder Swan Color, ColecoVision, PC Engine, Odyssey 2, NES, Famicom, Super Nintendo, N64, Game Boy Advance. I mean, dude, Mega Drive, Mega CD. So Mega Drive would be Genesis and Sega CD for the US. Neo Geo Pocket, Neo Geo CD, PlayStation, Commodore 64, Amiga. Yeah, the ZX Spectrum. For all my UK friends, you can run your ZX Spectrum. I love that Z is Z. I just love it. I used to work for this company, and we used to do call center, and they'd be like, I'm going to sound bad. Never mind. All right. I do a terrible German accent, but there was this guy that was my counterpart. All right. First of all, I'm sorry to everyone that's German because I'm going to butcher this, but he'd call from Germany. He was like my counterpart for the company I was working for at the call center in Germany. And he'd be like, this is Hans from EMC Germany. Oh, shit, I said the name of the company. The company doesn't even exist anymore. They got bought out by Dell. This is Hans from EMC Germany. And I'd be like, what's up, Hans? And yeah, that's all that he would say. So that was stupid. Okay, anyways. But he would be like, this is Hans from EMC Germany. And he'd be like, I have a case for you. The case is Z543Z. 632Z 48ZZ. Did you get the Z? Z65ZZZ. I just love saying Z. I just love it. Like, we should say Z. It's fun. It's fun to say Z. That's it. Everything Z from now on is Z. I don't care what anybody says. Everything is Z. I have to come. All right, we got to come up with cool words that begin with Z. This is EMC Germany. This is Hans from EMC Germany. This is, all right, my case. See, then I go into like a Spanish accent. I can't keep it for very long. See, this is my problem. My wife gets so mad at me because I get obsessed with things and then I repeat them and to the point they're not funny anymore. And I bug her. I'll annoy the crap out of her. She loves me. My wife really loves me. I mean, clearly she wouldn't have married me. But I get really annoying. And when I find something that she thinks is funny but might be annoying, I kind of keep doing it to the point where it's not funny anymore. Mason knows this. Zetrozik. Zedro. How do you do it when it's in a word? When it's in a word, it's still Zed, right? It's not Z, so it'd be Zedtrozik. What is it? What is it, Zetrozik? Oh, God. Yes, poor Kim. Dude, I bug Kim so bad. I mean, I love her, but that's what we do. I saw this thing the other day, and it was like, I married you because I want to annoy you for the rest of your life or something like that. You're the only one I want to annoy for the rest of your life. Kim has a threshold for me. You know what I mean? Like, but sometimes I push it way to the end. The ZX Spectrum. I love it. All right, anyways, I'm sorry, anybody that's from UK and Germany. We're Americans. We make fun of anything we don't understand. We're like, oh, that's ridiculous. Who would do that? So rude, those Americans. Okay, so the other thing I wanted to talk about really quick, I don't remember what the topics of the show. Oh, Christmas movies. So the other day, Kim had never seen. Oh no, she did see it. So Kim usually hasn't seen any movie ever. She doesn't really watch movies. That's the only one thing. If there's one thing my wife and I don't have in common, that's the only thing, really. Everything else we align on. But as far as movies, she doesn't really. She needs to watch TV in like 30-minute increments. So if movie theaters had intermissions every 30 minutes, then I could take her to the movie theater. But my alternative is I have to take her to like a nicer movie theater that tricks her into thinking that she's in a movie. But she is. She's in a movie theater, but it has to be like so. Anyways, whatever. She's just not a big fan of going to the movie theater. Like she can't sit for that long. She has 30-minute increments. She's busy. She just likes to be busy. It's weird though. I can get her to sit down all day on Sunday and watch football with me, which is a huge plus. And by the way, did anybody watch that game last night? That game was amazing. Okay, amazing, but sad depending on who you wanted to win. All right, so. Check out one more thing I wanted to show you really quick. It's this, this is the movie, but this is the movie that Kim had never seen. I loved this. I grew up with this movie, Mickey's Christmas Carol. I can't play it because I'm sure Disney would, but man, if you didn't cry at the Tiny Tim scene at this as a kid, you had no feelings. But if someone had duct taped you to a chair as a kid and made you watch Faces of Death like they did to me, you'd cry at a lot of stuff. But yeah, I loved this movie. This was one of my favorite ones. I made my kids watch this when they were super little, and so they now remember it. But I don't know if they still play this or not, but it was one of my favorite Christmas Carol. I love the whole Christmas Carol story anyway, with Scrooge and everything. But yeah, this is one of my favorite ones. I don't know. I just love it. And it's short. It's only like, I don't know, it's maybe like 30 minutes or something. It's just a short, really. I think it's 30 minutes. Anyways, I love that one and Faces of Death. Mickey's Faces of Death. No, you guys, you're messing with Christmas. I don't even know why I'm talking. You haven't watched it with Penelope? Dude, okay. So my family, such a good dude, really good. Like he's watched the channel from the beginning. And I'll say that he probably, I think he probably watched it from the very, very, very beginning. And if you haven't seen Mickey's Christmas Carol, dude, I think your daughter would really dig it. I know she's a little bit older now, but I think she'd really, really love it. And I know I'm talking about Christmas movies, but I just loved it. It's not, I mean, it's a cartoon, but I didn't really have plans to talk about it beyond this Mickey's Christmas Carol because I just felt like it was one of those, it was 26 minutes, by the way. It's one of those things where I had to share it with my kids because I loved it so freaking much when I was a kid. And it stuck with me, and I love those. So if there's something, tell me in the chat if there's something that you watched as a kid that you forced your kids, not forced, but, well, yeah, I guess forced, because at some age you could just be like, you're watching it. So, yeah, but like if there's something that you watched that you wanted to share with your kids, like I love that stuff because there's certain shows that I know I was almost ridiculous. I made them watch a lot. Like, I made them watch Back to the Future like 50,000 times. I was like, look, if my kids grow up without liking Back to the Future, then they're not my kids. I was like, you guys, I would disown my own children. I'm like, there's no way. You guys need to know who Marty McFly is. You need to know who Doc Brown is. You need to know what a DeLorean is. You need to know what a flux capacitor is because it's what makes time travel possible. And you need to know that you can modify the car to also run on other substances other than plutonium. And if you know that, then you're cool. If not, disowned. So that was my criteria. They had to know that stuff. Okay, so let me see what. All right, Peanuts. That's a good one. Arcade Hollywood mentioned Elf. Elf is definitely one that always. I don't think you meant to say this one. I don't think that's a Christmas movie, and that's inappropriate. But you did make a comment, so I did bring it up. Peanuts, which we already showed. Let's see. All right, let's see. So I think Team Pandora had a lot to say. I tried to get my kids to watch Lord of the Rings, the cartoon. She couldn't get through it. The intro. Actually, the funny thing is I tried to get Mason to watch certain 80s movies, and he's like, I couldn't do it. I'm like, what? I don't know. I think the movies that we grew up with they would be considered slow by today's standards. Like getting in, they were more... they did more storyline. I don't know. They didn't do more storyline. Maybe they were just slower to get to the story. I don't know. But they also used to run. Remember, movies used to have those intros where they were long with lots of credits, and now they just have at the end of the movie. Like they tend to lessen the credits going into a movie, and at the end of the movie, it's like 6 hours long of credits, which kind of sucks because I'm sure there were people that were really excited to see their name in the beginning, and now they only show like the key actors in the beginning. So it kind of sucks. But Nick's saying his kids love Back to the Future. You got to start them young, though. I think if you started them too late, they wouldn't like it. But I think he started them young. Wait, what? Really? Those Rudolph things? Oh no, really? The kids hated them though, but you made them watch it. Dude, Labyrinth, 100%. My kids, they did like Labyrinth. I got them into Labyrinth and Neverending Story back then, and then that kind of fell off. They probably wouldn't watch it now. Oh, Gary Delabate's here from the Howard Stern Show. I love that he is always here. I mean, he's producing a much more influential show with the Howard Stern Show, but he still finds the time to stop in and make a comment. Gary, that's so awesome. I really do appreciate that. He recommends to his kids the High Pitch Eric Christmas special. That one could go. I could go either way, but you know. All right, so Jay has a comment. Jay Cuts. He says the car dealership made me pay extra for the flux capacitor in my car, plus an upcharge to fill the blinker fluid. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, in 2022, you can get plutonium at any corner drugstore. So I mean, it's obviously something you can get. Christmas Vacation. Yeah, dude, wait, hold on. Christmas Vacation, my wife's go-to is Home Alone. Okay, I could do both those. So I love Christmas Vacation, but I like Home Alone too. Both of those are good in my house. Home Alone ranks higher than Christmas Vacation with like the kids and Kim, but Christmas Vacation is probably one of my favorites. What's the scene? My favorite scene in that movie. I know it's stupid because it's not. I have a lot of favorite scenes in that movie, but I love when how does it go where the icicle shoots from the gutter into the house and he's all, why is the floor all wet? I don't know, Margot. I love that part. I don't know, Margot. I probably butchered that line, but I love that. All right, let's see. What else we got here? Miss me with opening credits. I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. Super Dimensional. I don't know. I go crazy. Watch A Christmas Carol with George C. Scott. Yep, I've seen that. Have you seen Private Parts Christmas? I don't think there was a Private Parts Christmas, Gary, but I could be wrong. But the movie Private Parts I did enjoy. And you were in it. You were in it as you played yourself, which is great. So cool. All right, hold on. I got an unsuccessful Christmas story here. Unsuccessfully tried to get my family to love It's a Wonderful Life. They liked it. Dude, I made a stream last year about It's a Wonderful Life, and I said that made me cry. I know I admitted it. Yep, it's tough for a grown man to admit that he cried, but I did. I cried. I tried so hard not to cry because I was like, because that was Kim. Kim was making a suggestion to watch that. For once, Kim had a movie suggestion. And I built a wall. We have pillows on the couch. I built a wall of pillows so she didn't see me cry. And then she's like, "Are you crying?" I'm like, "No." And I'm like, yeah, it was sad. It was sad. It was a good movie, though. It's a really good movie. So don't sleep on those old ass movies. See, I bet Mason would struggle to want to be into it because it's black and white. It's kind of slow. But I'm telling you, dude, that was old for me. And I'm old. I didn't watch that movie because that movie's old, right? It's a Wonderful Life is friggin' old. And I'm old. I mean, I'm old to me. 43. You know, not Mason. Mason's like 21. He's 25, actually, but still. All right. Let's see. I'm just seeing Home Alone is a classic and a must-watch every day. Every day. We do watch that around the holiday season quite a few times, Ryan, though. We do. The Polar Express is a good one. I dig the Polar Express. My kids still will watch Polar Express. The question is, what Home Alone? So I prefer the first Home Alone, to be honest. I go with the first Home Alone. Home Alone 2 is pretty good. Home Alone 3 is the one with the bird lady, right? I think. No, or is 2? I can't remember. 1 is my jam. 2 is the New York one. Yeah. Shit, which one's with the bird lady? Is it 2? I can't remember. I like Rob Schneider in there where he's asking for the money, and I like they reuse the get out of the room thing with the uncle in the shower thing. I don't know. It's okay. It's okay. But the first one's way better. Jingle All the Way, that's a good... Jingle All the Way is one that probably doesn't get a lot of fanfare these days, but that's pretty good with Arnold in it. What is that toy they're trying to find? What's the robot toy that they're trying to find? I can't remember. I believe you. Chad with a super chat. I believe you, but my Tommy gun don't. Thanks for the super chat, bud. By the way, I gotta say something. You guys, the voicemails are Turbo Man. That's it. Turbo Man. That's the oh man. All right, you guys are all saying Turbo Man. Yeah, Turbo Man. Okay, so you guys are snoozing on the voicemails. I had 3 voicemails. I don't even really have enough. So I know I did. I usually tell people the night before, and I get some that come in, but I have like 3 voicemails, and I don't think any one of them is actually serious. So we can go to voicemails, but not one of them is actually a serious voicemail. So I'll look at it. But hey, this is the reminder part of the show. I gotta check the time. The link is in the description. You hit the link. You can do it from a phone. You can do it from a computer, whatever. And then you record your message. But, I mean, you can leave something funny. I'm all about that. That's fun for the show. But if you have any questions about arcade gaming or whatever, the hobbies, whatever your hobby, anything, even life questions like that, I probably will answer terribly and give you horrible advice. Those are fine too. You can ask that. We talk about that here. This isn't just gaming. That's why I called it Coffee Talk. That's why I didn't call it Gaming Talk or whatever. I don't know. All right, Ralphie, because you asked, I'll tell you. I may have found a stand-up, and I may have found a deluxe. Now, the current situation is I have that Road Blasters in my garage. That's huge. It takes up the space of 3 machines. That was stupid on my part. So here, let's talk a little bit about collecting for a second. When you collect, your eyes get bigger than your stomach, just like with food, right? You're like, oh, man. Like, I have a Road Blaster stand-up, but dude, the cockpit is super rare. That would be awesome. That'd be awesome to own. You probably should understand the size of some of these things before you bring them home. I never, ever saw or played a Road Blaster's cockpit, but I got so hooked on it because I love that game. I'm like, man, I got to have the cockpit. Holy crap, it's got a subwoofer. This is epic. Could have put a subwoofer in my full size. And I bought it, and I regret that. I regret it because I wouldn't put it this way. I wouldn't regret it if I had Barncade. If I had something like Jeff has where I have all this room, then I wouldn't regret it because I could just shove it against the wall somewhere and people could enjoy it. But it sits in the middle of my room and it takes up a ton of space. And so while I love the game, that was a stupid decision to trade because I had a stand-up that I put a lot of work into. I recapped the monitor. The monitor was great. I put good speakers in it because those speakers, the cones on those had just deteriorated. So I put really good speakers in it. I upgraded the power supply. I put the big blue cap or whatever it is. So everything was good. Like got clean power. I rebuilt the soundboard, like everything was great. That thing was as good as new. That should run for years to come. And then I traded for Turd Burglar full size. I mean, the thing had mold all over it. I mean, I don't know why I did that. It was stupid. So I guess what I'm saying is when you get into collecting and stuff, just like have some self-control. I don't have that. So I went crazy. And sometimes I'm worried about myself even now. It's getting toward Christmas time and I'm afraid I'm going to see something I want. And yeah. All right. So How to Bachelor, thanks for this. How do you do the 44 cent? I can't do, I've tried to do super chats where I do change and I can't do it. Oh, you got some magic over there, but thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. He said, hello from Syracuse, New York, Mother Flowers. So he just moved from Florida to New York. He's all settled in, I think. So that's really cool. Thanks for the super chat, buddy. And I'm glad you're doing well. All right. Yeah, for sure. Pinball collectors have that problem too. Yeah, it's just, you gotta like, it's easy to get hung up on, I want this or I want that. And then you kind of like, you start buying stuff that you're not sure you should get. And then you just go down this path where you, okay. Yeah. So when you say recap the monitor, do you mean put new capacitors on or something else? That's exactly what it means. So just like with like a lot of people that are into console collecting will put a fresh set of capacitors on, old consoles because they tend to leak or they get swollen. The thing is that leads to inconsistencies in power, which if you leave it alone for too long, it'll usually destroy other parts of the board. So your caps will start to go bad and too much voltage will go here or there. And then all of a sudden you've got other broken components in the chain. So it's best to recap. That way that's out of the equation, right? So every monitor chassis I've had that's working, that if I have it and it's working and it doesn't appear that the caps have ever been replaced or I don't know when they were replaced, I tend to just do it. I do two things. I replace all the capacitors on that monitor chassis. And even if it doesn't need it, I don't care. I replace the flyback. And the reason why I do that is because a lot of times you don't see little cracks in flybacks and stuff. And so I just replace it. And I've been very lucky, knock on wood, that when I do that, those monitors have stayed very, very reliable. Now, granted, I don't have them on and running every single day, all day. But the thing is, do the maintenance before the issue. Because if you wait for an issue, more likely than not, something else will break in that chain. And it becomes a hell of a lot harder to troubleshoot that way. And I'm definitely not an expert at troubleshooting. I'm always learning in this hobby. I will be the first to tell you that it's not something I knew going into it. It's something I've learned along the way. I reference other friends that have been doing the hobby longer when I have issues or problems. I go to places like Clove. So yeah, that leads me to my next topic that I wasn't planning on talking about, but I'm going to really quick. So the other part of the show I was going to talk about was Arcade 911. What is that? That's a joke between me and Nick Madsen because we talk about that we've always wanted to. It'd be cool to do this show where you it's a joke, but we say, oh yeah, Arcade 911, and like it's like, we'll go fix people, go on the road and fix people's arcades for them and stuff. But anyways, but long story short, he's coming to Phoenix and we're gonna actually work. We're literally gonna do like basically Arcade 911 fest for a couple days and fix some machines and play with some stuff. And hopefully we're gonna go to Electric Bat. And we might go to Starfighters or a couple other arcades here in Phoenix. So it's gonna be super fun. But it reminded me of something because I just recently went through the garage and cleaned it all out. It looks pretty good right now. Like, and every game pretty much is working in my garage. Now they're not maybe all in the best shape, looks wise, but they all work. But there's some that need a little bit of work as far as like cabinet body work and stuff like that. But the thing that I was thinking about as I was standing there, I see a lot of people that are like, I'm going to get into real arcades. Like I'm going to get into, and I want to encourage people to do that. But also it's good to go into it knowing what you're getting yourself into. Like it's not something where you just buy them and you're like, oh, it's great. I'm going to enjoy this for years to come. Because you could go buy a working machine off someone, transport it, and when you get home, it doesn't work. Like these machines are old. They're antiques. Some of them, especially the 80s ones, think about how old they actually are. The electronics, it's a miracle they all still work, but a lot of them do. But the thing is, they also break very easily. when they're all in working order, if you treat them right and you do the normal maintenance, then they'll last a long time. They'll last longer for you. But just the thing is, a lot of people go into the hobby and then something breaks and they get super disappointed and bummed out as if that wasn't going to happen. It's like anything. If you buy anything that's antique, it's older. It has the potential to break. And I think sometimes people don't really think about that, and then they get disappointed. So I almost feel like when someone goes into the hobby, you have to know that going in, and then you won't be disappointed. But you also have to have this part of you that enjoys when something breaks and you have to fix it. You know what I mean? Because that is part of the hobby. I feel like if you're not into that, or that's going to discourage you, then you're going to be disappointed. But if you're someone that likes to tinker with stuff and learn things, because like I didn't know how to fix a lot of the stuff. I had to learn going, along the way. I have a technical background, so I don't feel the only thing I was very scared to work on monitors at first. No doubt. But once I got over that fear, I was like, okay, I can do this. So you just have to, you know what I mean? You have to go into it knowing that these things are going to happen. They're going to break. You're buying an antique. Like, be realistic as to what you're buying, and then you'll enjoy the hobby much better. If you go into the hobby blind and you just buy a bunch of broken machines or you buy machines that aren't really in great shape, like I would almost say, depending on what your personality is like, if you have the desire to learn, you could go and buy a broken one, but that's daunting, right? You're buying something that's broken and you're going to fix it along the way. Or you could buy something that works, which would be my suggestion. You buy something that works, and then as it breaks, you learn how to fix it. That would be my way to go, especially if it's something you're a bit uncomfortable with. That way, you bought it, it's working. Now, granted, you could transport it and it breaks when you get home. I said that's real. I've had that happen several times. But that'll, I think, make for a better experience. You enjoy the one you have for a little while. Once it breaks, then you can start learning. That's the best way, I think. But some people want to go in and buy broken machines and then go that way. Ralph's super serious today. I don't think I'm that serious. But anyways. All right, I'm really hot in here. Realized I wasn't subbed for my show account, only my personal. Oh, thanks, dude. Sorry, by the way, I know I screwed up, dude. Don't be upset. I called you midlife crisis or something. I just forgot it was Mid-Geek crisis. So I gave you a plug. There's also a link in the description of the video to your page that goes to all your social stuff. But I was telling the story how I had kind of ignored the whole RGB Pi thing for a while, and I ordered the board. It was so easy. That's the other thing so thank you for the suggestion. It actually has been a really fun little project, and it took me like 15 minutes to get up and running. So for those of you, and I don't have the kick harness hooked up yet. It's just, but I mean, if I did that, it might take a little longer. But so thank you for tipping me off to that. I know it's been around for, I think, a little while, but I think it's a cool alternative to someone that maybe doesn't want to go down the Mr. Cade route. And it is a lot easier, in my opinion, to get going than it is a Mr. Cade. Not that Mr. Cade is difficult, or Mr. in general, but I had this up and running in, I swear, like 10, 15 minutes. So if you're someone that's really familiar with, you've already done mods with Raspberry Pis, you'll breeze right through this. You'll breeze right through it. All right, hold on. I have, I prefer to play while I fix rather than fix before I play. Huh? So Rudy knows, like, some of it is you enjoy, some of it is like, also there are a lot of people that enjoy fixing up the machines more than they do playing them, which is nothing wrong with that. There's a lot of people, I think, that work on cars that enjoy the restoration process of the car, and then they stand back and it's like this prideful moment. You get that too in this hobby. Like when you make something look nicer, or you're finished with your project, you could replace the control panel artwork, put in a new marquee, whatever it is, recap the monitor. You sit back and you're proud of it. And that's actually one of the cool things about the hobby. And then the other thing I really enjoy about it is that everyone really is willing to help. There isn't a whole lot of, look, there's drama and everything, but I feel like for the most part, in all the online communities I've ever been a part of, it's just the demographic for arcade gaming and collecting and restoration is an older crowd. Most of them are kind of not into the drama pieces of it. I'm not saying it doesn't exist, but it's less, because it's not really trendy. I think it's less, it's just a bunch of people that really are passionate and enjoy what they do. So they're always super willing to help. Where I feel like some of these like hobbies that are more trendy and there are people that join in that maybe aren't as passionate about some of the others within that hobby, they tend to like cause drama and stir the pot and stuff. And that turns some people off from that hobby. I haven't really seen a lot of that in arcade gaming. Like I really haven't in the like original hobby. I just haven't. And I'm grateful for that because if it's your hobby, it's supposed to be fun. Like who wants to be in their hobby and have a bunch of drama in it? Like that wouldn't be fun. Most hobbies, whether you're into console gaming, retro gaming, arcades, whatever you're into, that's usually the hobby. You want to go there because it's fun, right? Like if it's dramatic and stupid and there's a bunch of people, like you'll be turned off. You know what I mean? I don't know. But I mean, there is drama in everything, but I feel like there's not a whole lot in the original hobby, which is cool. All right. Ralph, have you ever used, also you can choose to ignore a lot of that stuff. And then have you ever used a Korean style arcade joystick? I've been looking at them on Focus Attack and I'm thinking about pulling the trigger today. I haven't, but definitely keep us up to date as to what you find out and if you like it. There's a lot of different button combinations, by the way. Like if you really do some research on button combinations, there's a ton of different ways that people laid out buttons. I think we're all used to like the 6-button American style where they're just in a row. But there's like Japanese style, there's noir, and there's all these other, it gets pretty crazy. I think it depends on what you are comfortable with or grew up with. I don't prefer the Japanese style with the curvature to the top 3 and bottom 3. I would rather have it be straight across for 6-button configurations. And then if it's a Neo Geo, I want it to be the traditional Neo Geo layout. But Stringer with the $2 super chat. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you. So Stringer is working very diligently. I don't want to make any promises, but I think we're good that we're going to do the premiere of the video this Sunday. So I don't think I'm going to even have time to publish or produce an actual video this week. So we're going to go with that. I think we'll be able to pull it off. If Stringer can't, then we just won't have a video this week. But I think we'll be able to do it. This is a good point, actually, Bud, about avoiding the drama. Yeah, like sometimes like some of these Facebook groups, they tend to have people that just like go in and complain, and it's good to just. Sometimes it's best to just leave them. I left a whole bunch of them a couple of years ago, and it's nice because my feed isn't clogged up with people complaining about stuff. Oh shit, you were editing till 3 a.m., dude. Yeah, it's also called Japanese style, but yeah. I don't prefer that at all. But anyways, when are you gonna buy Classic Kim for Christmas? Well, I can't say it because she might be watching, so I don't want to say it, but I mean. I have some ideas. All right. We got another super chat from the Mid-Geek Crisis. He said, one thing I always like to stress, vintage hobbies like this, we should maintain the devices as much as enjoy like cars. Retro needs maintenance. That's a great way to put it. That is one of those things. Like if you're going to buy into like, let's say you built your own, like a DIY kit. And you're like, man, this isn't doing it for me. I really want original. I'm not telling people what to do with their money, but I do agree with this statement. Like, if you're going to get into it, know what you're getting yourself into because it's not, they will break, like I said, they're vintage, however you want to call it, they're antiques. And so, to me, it's no different than someone wanting to buy and restore an old car, like some kind of classic car. And usually it's people take a lot of pride in making sure they stick to certain standards. I realize that could be considered gatekeeping, but I personally feel like if you're going to buy it and you're going to get into the hobby, then try to keep it as original as possible. I mean, obviously, if artwork is destroyed, then replacing artwork is totally acceptable. But, if it's original and it's not, then leave it. You know what I mean? It has that little bit of that patina look. But anyways, that's just how I feel it should be done. I'm not going to ridicule someone for doing something different, but it's just, in my opinion, these things are antique. So it'd be like buying it'd be like someone in antique furniture going and completely destroying, chopping the legs off of a dresser that's like from the 1800s or something. You know what I mean? It's like, maybe that's a little dramatic, but still, I mean, they're not making any more of these classic machines unless they're reproduction. So it's pretty cool to be able to preserve the originals. And that's, I think, part of the cool factor of the hobby. Okay. Thanks for the super chat, Mid-Geek Crisis. I appreciate it. All right, super chat from Blake Mason. He says, just picked up a Mortal Kombat 1 arcade machine. That's awesome, man. That is one I'm probably out of all the Mortal Kombats, I enjoy 1 probably because I can play it, and that's the one that I played growing up. Yeah, sometimes arcades break while I'm on live stream. Yeah, I mean, but that's a real thing, though. Like, when people make the argument that, hey, I do a DIY arcade kit, or I do arcade 1-up or an at games or an iArcade or one of those, ones you can just build at home. It is accurate to say I buy these because they're light and easy to move around. I buy them because they don't break. That's absolutely true. If you buy a real arcade, it is going to break. It's not if it's going to break, it's when it's going to break. So that's a real thing, but you have to enjoy that. I think if you enjoy that, you'll enjoy the hobby. If you don't enjoy that, you're going to be disappointed. Like, I have a friend right now that I know him so well. I'm not going to say who he is. I have a friend that wants to buy like 2 or 3 real arcades, but he's not the personality that if it breaks, he's going to lose his freaking mind. He's going to freak out and be like, why did I buy this? But the thing is, I've told him already. I've said, dude, it's going to break. And then either you're going to call me to fix it, which I'm fine. Although if you ask Roundhouse Rudy, he'll be like, I'm still waiting for you to recap my monitor. but yeah, I mean, and it's time consuming, and it sucks because like you have to, some arcades, it's hard to get to the monitor chassis. You have to take it all out, bring it somewhere. You can send that stuff out to other people that will fix it. That is an alternative if you don't want to do it yourself. But I just know his personality. He doesn't like that kind of stuff. He just wants to turn it on and play it. And so to me, knowing that he feels so strongly that way, he shouldn't buy a real arcade. Like he shouldn't. I know him. I can predict the future with him. He's going to get super pissed off the second it breaks. And then he's going to be like, what the hell? And it's going to sit there broken, and he's going to be pissed. Or he's going to sell it broken, and then he's going to make like pennies on the dollar, and he's going to be even more pissed. So I can't stress that enough. Feel comfortable doing those things, or know that those things aren't going to bother you, and you'll be happy. They are, and they have them. And I'm like, then just be happy with that. You know what I mean? That's just being real. If you're not going to be cool with the fact that it breaks and you have to fix it, don't buy a real arcade. They're going to break. And I don't mean that in a jerk way. They will, and they do. And if you don't feel comfortable with it, or you have no desire to learn, it's a bad hobby to get into. You will be disappointed. And that's just me trying to be real about the whole thing. All right, agreed. I steer lots of people away from buying a real game. Yeah, and it's not meant to be like, but there's certain people that are like, oh man, like I love tinkering with stuff, and they want to get into something that they sink their teeth into and they learn. Great hobby for that. But it's a hobby that can be very frustrating, because like right now, I'll tell you a story real quick before I read Stringer's super chat, and then I gotta go. My Cinestar cockpit was working great. I put the J-Rock in it. The real boards do work, so I really should keep the real boards in. But I put the J-Rock in it. It's working great. I haven't touched it. I have not even touched it. I turned it on the other day, got in, played it for a little while. It was great. All of a sudden, like what the hell? Like the picture's gone. Like the tube is on, but it's off. So I go to the back, I open up the top, it's got that hood thing you pop. I pop it, and what the hell? The J-Rock's powered off. So I check the power supply. The power supply looks good. It's good. I took the multimeter to the power supply. It looks fine. The power supply was on. What the hell? I close it up, it turns on. And it's not one of the switches where it's like the kill switch. It wasn't that. Although I've had that happen before, where I didn't realize the kill switch was engaged, and then it was like, oops. By the way, those kill switches, you can pull them out. So a lot of people will tape them in. So basically the kill switch was so an arcade operator would be working on a game, and to make sure they don't get hurt by the high voltage, once they open the back of the cabinet, the kill switch pops, and then all the power to the arcade goes down. It's smart when you're working in the dark in an arcade. Probably good to turn it off to work on it. And but you can pull, a lot of people will duct tape those switches in. You can actually pull most of them. You can pull them out, and that disables the switch. But anyways, it wasn't the kill switch. It was actually there's a short somewhere. Somewhere there's a short. I can't figure it out. I was in the dark in the garage trying to fix it. But then I was like, screw it. I'll fix it later. I close it back up and it powered back on. And I'm like, what the hell? But it was weird. There's something metal or something from where the board is mounted hitting something. I can't figure it out because if I put it just right, it'll stay on. So that's like one of those weird things. Like now I got to find this needle in a haystack. So that's the reality of it. But I find that kind of fun. Because then once you do find the problem, you're like, aha, I found you. All right. So Stringer Film Super Chat. He says, by the way, Rudy, we're going to need you to deliver those cabs. Yeah, Rudy, we need your truck, bud. I think there was another topic I wanted to talk about, but I completely forgot. Oh, we're going to play the voicemail. So I got 2 seconds. We got 2 seconds. We'll play them, but trust me, the level of effort on these voicemails is very low. I'm hoping that next week we get some better voicemails, but I will play them. Hold on 1 sec. Let me get this queued up and we'll play the voicemail. This first one is very interesting. I'm a little embarrassed about this first one, but let's play this and see what happened. I'm embarrassed to play it, but all right, I'll play it.
This call is for Mr. Ronzio. This is Stefan with Cox Communications. I'm just calling to let you know your bill has past due for several months now, and if payment is not made in full within 48 hours, we're going to have to interrupt your services. So please give me a call whenever you can. Have a great day.
Well, that's a tough one to swallow because I was giving Cox Communications a lot of crap, but it appears I'm late with my bill. So someone says that sounds a lot like Stringer. I mean, I think that was Cox Communications, Hollywood. I think it really was. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. All right. I'm not sure what's up with this one. There's one more here. But you guys, please, come on. You guys, come on. The voicemail segment's kind of fun, but it's not fun if you guys don't leave any voicemails. So it's open. It's up to you. If not, if it becomes where no one is doing it, then pay your bills, bro. I know, right? I should know better. I should know better. Damn it. You're right, Garage Gamer. Okay. Let's see what we got here.
Hey man, I need to know what's in your fridge, dude. I need to know what's in your fridge. If you could show me what's in your fridge, I would really appreciate it.
Okay, so I guess this... All right. If you guys missed last week, I showed everyone the fridge. I can show you again. I'll show you the fridge one more time. I don't know what this obsession with my fridge is, but I do have a fridge. I do have a fridge, and I did show you my fridge. I'll show you the fridge, and then we'll go. Okay, here's the fridge.
Lola, they want to know what's in the fridge. Lolita, what's in the fridge? Okay.
Anyway, so you want to know what's in the fridge. I mean, it's just kind of a basic fridge. There isn't really much in the fridge, but actually there's a lot in the fridge. We have a hot sauce drawer because we like hot sauces, so that's one of the favorite ones, but I can't read that on the show because it's a family-friendly show. By the way, if you like hot sauces, this new Scorpion one by Tabasco, it's not regular Tabasco. Like, see, it doesn't even move. It's kind of crazy.
That's
if you like spicy stuff, definitely check that out when you go to the market and you go shopping. Yeah, I mean, normal stuff like milk, energy drinks, which I'll probably have one. I'm probably drinking one during the show. Yeah, I mean, just normal stuff. Not a whole lot. Bread, fruit. The dogs, we have to convince them to come inside with cheese, so that's why that bite of cheese is taken off. And yeah, that's the fridge, man. Not a whole lot. Now you know what's in my fridge.
All right, so that's the fridge. Yeah, I know you guys are super pumped about that. So yeah, I know it's very riveting. The fridge. All right, there's one more. Yeah, we're a big condiment family. Thank you, Stringer, for the super chat. Man, I know I'm feeling real guilty about not paying the bill, and I appreciate the help, Stringer. I really do, man. I really, really do. Thanks, buddy. All right, let's see. So, Adam, what's up, fellow Arizonan? So, Ralph, Phoenician, whatever. Ralph, well, does Phoenician imply you have to live in Phoenix? I don't know. Anyway, all right, shit, we're getting over. I gotta go. Ralph, have you tried secret aardvark hot sauce. Probably my favorite sauce. I haven't, dude. I'm gonna have to check that out. Let me know offline. Let me know where I can get some of that. All right, there's one more voicemail. I'll play it real quick, but then I really gotta go. I don't know what this is actually, so I don't know. Some dude, I don't know. I'll play it for you. I don't even know how to. I don't even know how to react to this one, but here it is.
Hello, Retro Ralph. This is Worthington Cecilmeyer the Third. Hey, I was thumbing through the latest copy of Forbes magazine, and I saw a little blurb here that made me think of your coffee talk from last Wednesday. Apparently, Dick's Sporting Goods, Cox Communication, and BJ's are all being bought out by the same corporate conglomerate. It's a sort of a new one. It's called Schlong LLC. Yes, Schlong LLC will be buying all three of those companies. And, you know, those are three rather big companies, you know, kind of a gold mine, you know, they're all very successful companies, so quite a gold mine. And it says here that they plan to liquidate all of them. So there'll be a lot of golden liquid coming from this particular Schlong.
Okay. Well, I don't know. Now we're getting, I mean, really, you guys could use this advice any way you want, but Schlong LLC, it sounds like they're buying up all these companies. So, I mean, now we could get fined for insider trading. So I'm not really sure I should have even played that, because now all you guys are going to go invest in Cox Communications or in Schlong LLC, which is now going to become a gigantic conglomerate. So, I mean, the sheer value of these voicemails to not only me, but to the viewers, it's pure gold, just like he said. Anyways, wow, what a show. What a freaking show. I got to say, you know, I love the serious nature of all the voicemails. I got to say, everyone has been very, oh wait, hold on. There's one more super chat here by Stringer Films. Cox uses HTPP instead of HTTP. That's actually really funny. All right, okay. Thanks for the super chat, bud. Yeah, does seem like a big purchase for an LLC, but like I said, I'm not looking to give you financial advice, but it sounds very sound. It sounds very All right, hold on. Mike of all trades. That's all oh no, come on. But Mike, it's family friendly show. I'm not going to say that. All right, go check out Mike of all trades if you haven't. He's got a great YouTube channel. He covers a lot of the home arcade stuff, but he also does a lot of fight community stuff as well. So anyways, all right, we're going to wrap things up here. I appreciate everyone joining. I got to get to work, so we gotta wrap it up now. We're over the hour, but I can't tell you how much I appreciate the reinvigoration of Coffee Talk. It's fun. I have a lot of fun doing it. It seems like you guys enjoy it, and that's all that matters. All right, guys, that's it for now, and we will see you. Clog your ears. I still didn't fix this part. On the next one.